Good afternoon and welcome back to another bar by bar analysis here on my channel. Today's April 20th, 2022, and man, it feels good to be back. I appreciate everyone's flexibility. I had to work the past 2 days. I thought I was working today. There wasn't even supposed to be a video today, but work got canceled, and so I had the time to trade today, and I'm making a video now. So today we're looking at a 2000 tick chart with a 21 EMA, 200 EMA indicator. 21 EMAs here in blue, 200 EMA indicator is in magenta here. And then we also have a volume indicator. It's the volume up down indicator that I added to my chart. And I use that as part of my trading. And I found it to be very beneficial, especially today. It helped me stay out of some bad trades as well as kept me in some good trades. So very fairly relatively quick day. I didn't trade when market opened, but I ended up coming in a little bit later. Managed to get 2 scalps in and finish up the day. I also started Apex eval because Apex was putting on an Easter sale, and I just couldn't resist the offer that they had going on. So I'm doing an eval right now, and hopefully things go well. But without further ado, let's just get right into this video, and we'll take a look at some solid setups and see what we can find as we continue on through the day. So just like I had the video done last week, I want to just try and push through this, make it a nice concise video for people to see, and hopefully people can get some good benefits out of this. So as we normally do on this channel, as the day opens, we start drawing a level of resistance here at the top, level of support here at the bottom. Nice uptrend working up that I had in play with the break and new high. If prices hold above EMA, not necessarily looking at going long. Once we've reached the top of this trading range, looking to make our way back down to the bottom where we found this level of support. So as the day starts, prices push above these overnight highs before pushing back low, retesting it again, and where do we expect prices to go? Back to the bottom. Didn't find any entries here that I necessarily wanted to take. Nothing that was interesting. Pretty clear that we have a trend working down. Second entry indicator is showing there's a second entry long here off 200 EMA, but not necessarily looking to go long. Counter trend as prices are pushing strongly below EMA, coming from the highs here. I'm anticipating for prices to come back down to the low, so not looking to go long. For those that enter, you would have gotten a scalp before prices start to range back and forth for a bit. And as 200 EMA is flattening out, EMA is starting to kind of flatten out just a little bit. We have a little bit of a range at play here. Bearish imbalance here as prices are starting to push below this 200 EMA. We have a new high with the first entry long, second entry long that triggers above this small bar before prices push back down in reverse. Not trying to go long, even if you are going back up into the range. With the bearish imbalance here, we're really not looking to go long against this trend. So even if you get this nice signal bar at the bottom of this trading range, I'm very hesitant to go long, even if you have room to the EMA. With prices pushing down, I guess some people could argue this could be an aggressive long that some people take just because you have room back to the EMA. But realistically, you have a bearish imbalance at play. Prices are pushing below 21 EMA as well as 200 EMA. We're in the middle of a trading range, expecting prices to continue pushing back down to the bottom of this trading range. Not really looking to go long. Now, as prices push back up from the bottom of this range here, we have this new low with a first entry short, failed second entry short. So if prices fail here, we could be looking to go long, but you'd be going long into this resistance. This could be an aggressive trade you possibly take. I don't like it personally just because the body of this candle isn't near the 21 EMA, so prices could come back down a little bit. I don't even really want to mark it. I wouldn't trade that. The way I see it, I really just need prices to give a little bit more confirmation, and prices continue to work. So some people that took that trade would have gotten that scalp, but just based on what I'm seeing, I need to just sit on my hands for a bit. So we have the short-term trend working up, breaking above this trading range here. And what's that telling us? Well, we were expecting prices to come back down to the lows, and we're not getting that. What we're seeing is prices are pushing back above this 200 EMA, as well as pushing strongly above this 21 EMA as well. So we could be looking to retest these highs again, or we could just continue on with a trading range the rest of this day. So at this point, I would be interested in going long. We have a new high, first entry long, second entry long, but not looking to go long here. The body of the candle, the bar is just not even off this 21 EMA. Short-term trend was working up with a break, move to a new high. Prices tried pushing back down, breakout, pullback, but really no way to enter this. Prices come back up, making a double top here at the bottom. Just got to sit on our hands for a bit. Now what we have here is this new low with the first entry short. Prices come up for a second entry short failure, but same thing as before, right? You know, you have this bar, the body of the candle is just not, it's too far from EMA for me. Same thing here. When you consider what you'd be risking if you entered one tick above, and if you're putting your stop one tick below this bar, you're risking 4.5 points. 4.5 points for what? 4 ticks, 6 ticks, 10 ticks? You know, if you're going for 2 points, the risk reward just doesn't make sense here. So I wouldn't be interested in entering this. Prices continue up anyway, and you would have gotten the scalp, but that's just a trade that I really would just stay out of. Now, prices do make a new high with a first entry long, and prices are coming back down. Second entry long off the EMA, plenty of room to the highs of this swing. I love going long here. Additionally, we have a channel that's working up. You know, maybe if we had this channel before, some people could have argued taking that trade. I just wasn't a fan of it. It's not a trade that I would have taken here, but this one I do like. Small short-term trend that's working down with a slight break, move to a new low right off EMA, plenty of room to the highs. I'm going long there. I also don't want to forget the volume indicator and how it can be useful for some of these trades. So for this trade right here, you know, if we come back a little bit, you see volume start to increase as prices are pushing down. If volume is increasing as it's moving in a direction, that's a very scary thing to see. I'm not looking to go against that trend. So that's why I wouldn't necessarily take a trade here. Now, as prices continue on, you have volume that's increasing slightly, a little bit of bumps here and there, but as prices are starting to push back above EMA, you do have a little bit of an increase in volume. I just didn't see anything as very clear cut. We had an increase in volume on this specific bar as prices pushed strongly above the EMA, nice strong signal bar, but then volume kind of cuts back just a little bit as it tries to figure out what it wants to do. So at least that's how I interpreted this bar here. Now for this bar here, this specific trade, we had volume kind of fluctuating up and down here. Kind of big moves, these little big swings. Prices aren't necessarily staying in the same range. They're pushing down, they're pushing up, come back to the EMA, and then another strong push up. Volume is slightly decreasing. It almost looks like the volume is slightly going down as it's trying to figure out what to do. And this bar where you would be entering, the volume would be at relatively low value compared to everything else. And then as we fast forward to this trade specifically right here, as prices are moving back down to the EMA, you have volume that's kind of stagnant. And if anything, it's kind of going down, little bits of decrease in volume as prices are coming back to the EMA. And then if we fast forward a little bit, you see you'd enter on this bar, slight increase in volume. Volume kind of comes back down and then increases again as it finishes the move up to these overnight highs. And then when you go back and look, you can see volume has increased as prices were making that move. Now, after prices reach this high, what am I thinking? I want to see how prices are going to react at EMA. When I saw them cut strongly below EMA, I thought, okay, well, we could be working our way back to test this 200 EMA or even back to test the bottom of the range again. So at this point, my bias is short. I had a slight short-term trend in play here with the new high first entry long, second entry long down here that traps people trying to go long below the EMA after we had a strong push up to test these overnight highs. I like the look of this bearish signal bar. And if I slide volume up here for just a second, as prices are moving down, you see volume start to increase again slightly as prices are finding a direction. I liked what I was seeing here, and so I entered short here. Volume kind of cuts back before slightly increasing for the scalp. Prices push back up to the EMA before volume increases again and prices continue pushing down. We had short-term trend working with a break moving to a new low. And as we continue down here, I extended the short-term trend I had in play. There was a break, a little bit of consolidation before prices push above EMA. We have this new low with a first entry short, second entry short that fails. You know, I considered going long here, but I didn't really like it because we're testing the EMA for the first time as prices had been coming down. I want to see how EMA is going to react. Plus, we had this bigger short-term trend that's working down, looking for a break in new low, really. So I wasn't really interested in going long here. I guess you can mark it as an aggressive trade. If we slide volume up for just a second to see what it's doing, as prices continue to push down, you see volume start to decrease. So that means traders are not interested in selling as it's getting low. We want to figure out what prices are going to do. And then as prices reverse, volume starts to pick up again towards the EMA. So for those that like that setup, as prices are pushing strongly again above EMA, you could enter that and maybe get out for a scalp. 7 to 850, that's 6 ticks right there. So if you're going for six ticks, you would have been out. I kind of like this setup better. As prices pushed above EMA, they came back to test it one more time here for a higher low. I do like this one. The candle isn't as big. And then the way I was interpreting volume is volume was slightly, ever so slightly decreasing as prices coming back to the EMA. Traders were just waiting for a good opportunity before going long. And yeah, by no surprise, as the next bars form, volume increases as that move happens. So you would have been out for a scalp. Slightly difficult drawing this short-term uptrend working up. We have a break looking for a new high. Not necessarily getting it just yet. We don't get it. Prices push strongly below EMA. So what am I looking at right now? I see a potential range setting up. So I draw this range, 200 EMAs holding in the middle of this range. This is our second time touching this general area, third time touching this general area before pushing down and then back up. So that's kind of confirming what I see here with this range that I previously drew. Now, as prices are coming up, I got this signal bar, and I was very tempted to go short here with a new low, first entry short, second entry short, nice signal bar coming off a level of resistance, 200 EMAs pretty flat, 21 EMAs ranging up and down. The only reason why I didn't take this trade was because when I had volume up, I saw as prices were pushing strongly above EMA, we had these little bursts, these increases of volume. Prices coming back down to the EMA, volumes coming back down as well. And then as that push happened, we get this strong increase in volume. So we got a lot of buyers, and that's why I was so hesitant about going short here. For those that enter that trade, you would have gotten trapped before prices reversed and push back above, stopping you out. Now, realistically, if you saw this coming and you were able to analyze the market correctly, you could have actually entered long on this trap. And it's fairly advanced to see, but if you put your stop one tick above this bar where all these stops are for people trying to go short, you can see the volume at play. There's a lot of volume coming in as prices are going up. Prices seem to hold just a little bit before you come up, and you definitely get a scalp. If you entered on 3, prices come up to 5.75. That's over 2 points if you're trying to go for that. Now, at the time, I also had a short-term trend in play with the break move to a new high. So when I saw this second entry long setting up, you have a new high, first entry long, second entry long. I wasn't interested in going long here. I was actually looking at potentially taking a failure and looking for prices to push back down into this trading range, but didn't quite get that. Prices continue to push up, and so this trade kind of left without me. It was a breakout pullback as EMA was catching up. That's a risk that you could potentially take if you see it in that moment. Volumes decreasing as prices are coming back down to the EMAs. People are waiting for an entry, but based on that move and what the volume is showing, it didn't seem like as strong of a move. There was still a little bit of a indecision. Definitely more buyers in the market, and that's why prices continue to push up. But price action rules still matter to me, and that's why I didn't end up taking that trade. Now, if we had like a potential higher low here, I would have looked to go long. We would have needed something to set up right here. Now, overall, what are prices telling us, right? We trade in this range for just a little bit before prices push back up. Where are prices most likely to go, right? As we continue getting these swings above the EMA, as the EMA pushes up, prices are pushing up above 200 EMA as well. Probably going to test these overnight highs again. At least that's what I thought. Then I saw a push below EMA. Prices holding below EMA. We have a new high with a first entry long, second entry long that fails below EMA. With how small this bar is, I'd take the risk on trying to go short here. If you extend the trading range just a little bit, you can see prices potentially can move back into this trading range. You have, I think, just enough room for this swing here at 9.0. That's 6 ticks if you're going for 6 ticks. Prices push down, you get the scalp before prices push back up above EMA. And prices do push to overnight highs like I thought they were going to. I thought they were going to over here, but it didn't. They definitely did here. Now, by this time, I was done trading. It's also 12:50, almost 1 o'clock. There would have been 1 o'clock. I would have been done trading by this time. But those are the trades and setups that I saw for today. Definitely another one of those days where you had to be patient while also trying to stay focused on what the market was trying to tell us. But yeah, ultimately I finished green for the day. Good start to my Apex evaluation. And that's really all I have for today's video. As prices continue down, yeah, it looks like the rest of the day prices continue down and then back up. So trading, within this price range that we have at play here. But yeah, those were some of the trades I saw for today. So if you enjoyed this video, you got something out of it, please subscribe, leave a like, turn on post notifications, and go ahead and leave a comment. Let me know what you think about these videos. Let me know how they're helping you. And feel free to send this to a trading buddy as well. It never hurts having that additional resource. As always, I appreciate your viewership. I appreciate the likes and comments. I've been getting some really positive feedback on these videos, and it means the world to me. So thank you for that. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.